Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to estimate cube roots with a little bit of calculus. So, let's say you want to find the cube root of 9. Given that the cube root of 8 is 2. We can estimate this using a couple things. So I've written out the steps here. First one is determine the derivative of the cube root of x. So the first thing I want to say is we'll generalize a bit. So, cube roots can also be written as x to the power of 1/3. Now we want to use the power rule for differentiation, which is this here, n times x, which is being raised to the power of n minus 1. So let n equal 1/3. So we have, I'll write it down here, we have 1/3 times x to the power of 1/3 minus 1. This simplifies out to 1/3 times x to the negative 2/3 power. And when we have a negative exponent, we want to put x under 1. Give 1 as a denominator and then get rid of the negative sign. So we have 1/3 times, we'll do a dot, times 1 over x to the power of 2/3, which simply simplifies out to, oh, that's a bad spot. I'll just write it down here. It simplifies out to 1 over 3x to the power of 2/3. 2/3 can also be rewritten as cube root squared, but I'll leave it as 2/3 here. So this right here is our derivative, and this is how we got there using power rule for differentiation. This is the general form of it. Now the next one is determine the change in x. So we'll label our base, so base of 9, base of 8 as x, and we're going to subtract x2 minus x1. x1 being the one we already know, which is 8. So I'll do it down here. 9 minus 8 gets you 1. And now, step 3, plug x1 into the derivative, and I already said x1 is 8, so we plug in x to the x in our derivative, and that gets us 1 over 3 times 8 to the power of 2/3. We do order of operations, so 8 to the power of 2/3. The way you do that is you find the cube root of 8, and then you square the result of that. So cube root is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 3 is 12, so we get 1 over 12. And then we multiply the derivative, or our new derivative, by the change in x, so multiplied by 1. We'll just do 1 over 1. And that gets you 1 over 12. Now, it says add or subtract. Since we have a positive value from our new derivative, we want to add to the cube root who we already know, which is 2. So we do 2 plus 1 over 12. Let's do 2 and 1 12. Let me just get rid of this. So you get 2 and 1 12, which, well, I'll write it in black here. 1 over 12 is equal to 0.08, oh, more space. 1 over 12 is equal to 0.083 repeating. So that tells us that the estimated cube root of 9 is approximately 2.083 repeating. So of course we can check that. We want cube root wherever that is on this calculator. It's not here on this calculator. Okay. Cube root of 9. And that's 2.080083. So we were pretty close. We got really close with this estimate, and of course you could refine it even more by plugging in your new value that you do know. So you want to do 2.083 cubed, and we want to subtract that from the one we want, and you can redo the steps to find a more refined estimate, but this was pretty close already. You can also use this to find square roots, but you would have to use a different derivative, so you want to do the same thing, but with a new derivative for square root of x. And yeah, thank you for watching.